Welcome back to the Everyday Athlete Podcast. We got Gino and Spencer, two of my guys that I've worked with within the Everyday Athlete coaching business, and two guys who have really become good friends of mine. We competed alongside each other recently in our first ever HYROX, which we had an absolute blast. All got to travel out to Houston, and we actually had a few of the other guys. We had Todd he's from the Nashville area, and then we had Riley, who's another everyday athlete from the Houston area. So he was staying home, staying local, and we all got together and honestly sent it and got after it. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk through, our experience with our first ever HYROX, some of the lessons we learned in that, kind of the build up to that, the training, what did that look like? Talking through some of those things that we experienced, as well as what that competition day looked like. But I also want to explore a little bit more about your guys' background as well, because I know that both of you have learned so much about training, over the course of all of us, knowing each other and you guys working with me. And so I'm just really excited about this conversation because you guys are two beasts. You guys live the Everyday Athlete brand. You guys literally live and breathe everything that, I stand for, that I promote. So welcome to the podcast, Gino and Spencer.
Appreciate it. No, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's good to be here.
Absolutely, boys. So, hey, I really wanted to kind of start this thing off just letting you guys give a brief intro kind of about yourselves for the audience, talk through kind of your athletic journey. Both of you guys are former collegiate athletes. So a little bit about that and kind of where you're at today. So, Gino, you can kind of start us off, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Started out playing baseball since I was younger. I played multi-sports, but baseball was the way I wanted to go, and ended up, going to Heidelberg University, small D3 in Tiffin, Ohio for a couple years. But my journey got cut short, different than most athletic journeys. About 2.5 years I played. Then I transferred to Ohio State after I joined the military. I've been in the military 8 years. Took me to DC, become a federal officer with the Secret Service, and I think I found you probably around that time. I transferred back to Ohio State through a mutual friend of ours, Connor Peters, who actually introduced me to you and Colossus. Yep. Has become so close.
Yeah, isn't it crazy looking back to that? Bro?
It is. It's
really
crazy. It's been 8 years now since I think we've known each other. 7 years, I think we've started working together.
Probably not that long, but probably like 5. From like when I first started, like 5-6 years.
It's been, because I think when I first got in contact with you, I think I was upwards of, just shy of 300 pounds. I think we were right at that cusp. So it's crazy to look back at those pictures and
right.
I think I ate my old self.
Dude, it's wild, bro. But hey, you're a living testament of that, dude. That journey. And it's possible for everybody.
Yep. And I think you have a lot to do with that. And actually, being able to become close friends with, somebody who trains you, but now, a brotherhood we've created. I think that's not a lot of people get to say that. So
absolutely, bro. Yeah. And dude, I cherish it too, man. Like sitting here with you guys, thinking back to where we started to where we are now, man, and that growth, like individually you guys have experienced, like in your own journeys, but then like all this growth that we've three kind of collectively experienced together. It's really cool, man. So no, I appreciate that, dude.
Yeah.
Spencer?
But yeah,
give a little brief background.
Yeah, so I pretty much played sports my entire life, soccer, basketball. I didn't actually start playing football until 7th grade. So I played soccer, and then for some reason in my head, I was like, yeah, let me go try this, and led me to where I am now. So I played collegiate football at Ashland my freshman year. Stayed there for 1 year, and then ended up transferring to John Carroll University after some time. Finished out there, graduated, got a corporate job, stayed there for 2 years, but during my time in my corporate job, I guess it just didn't fit what I was doing or who I was. Just became really unhappy with kind of the things that I was doing, and ended up I didn't know where to start, where to make a switch, and I think that's when I found you originally. I think it was a Instagram post that we kind of, or social media where we kind of met through. But we ended up shooting each other a couple DMs. You convinced me to kind of get on this journey with you and join the Everyday Athlete program. And I think we worked together for 2 years, and it really was kind of some life-changing stuff. And which led me now to move from Cleveland to Columbus, which I am now a coach, an aspiring trainer, and
you're in it, bro.
I'm in it. I'm in the thick of it. I'm getting after it. But it's been a really good time. Being able to catch up with you, our friendship for over the last 3 years, I think, and meeting you when I got down here. It's been great, and looking forward to everything we got going on here in the future. So
absolutely, dude.
Appreciate you, having us on here.
Well, dude, and that's what was so cool about this is like we're all so wired so similarly. We all have that similar drive, that mindset. And I think that that's what's been so cool, like us three getting together, but then even seeing the extension of like the rest of the everyday athlete guys too. And like seeing that mindset kind of like permeate throughout that whole group. And when you're around that, dude, like it's really incredible because you don't get that kind of community just in day-to-day life, you know, and we have that unique kind of community of guys that are wired like that want to achieve, that want to grow, that want to get better. And I honestly think, dude, is what's cool to see kind of as like your guys as coach, and then even with some of the other guys, is like how you all have kind of pushed one another, and especially you two, like pushing each other to grow and develop and improve. And it just permeates throughout the entire group and everybody involved. And I think that's what's so powerful about what we're doing, man. And just the group in general. And so as far as like, you know, with HYROX in mind, I know that a lot of us, especially the three of us, really wanted to kind of scratch that competitive itch. We all dabbled down different, you know, lanes at one point or another, but over time we really found, you know, HYROX is it. And I remember like Gino was kind of the nudge I needed, where I like I was going more that direction. I'm like, all right, I'm really thinking like, this is what I want to compete. I really want to like compete in this thing. And then Gino was kind of in between, like, you know, doing an Ironman and doing HYROX. And he's like, dude, I'm doing HYROX. And then that was kind of like the just nudge that I needed to be like, dude, let's do this thing. You know, let's go all into this. So what really made you guys want to compete in that first HYROX, and what was that first experience like? Gino, you can start us off.
Talking to you, I think I was gonna say you were my nudge to do the HYROX.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that we both kind of have that like that tug and pull here. But no, yeah, I mean, like you said, you know, we had started out training and building a training program for a half Ironman. I was going to do that up in Sandusky. Actually, it was supposed to probably be at the end of this month.
Yeah.
And, you know, looking at it, I was like, you know what? I'm not very good on a bike. I am really good at running though. Yeah. And, you know, HYROX started becoming huge, and I know you hadn't mentioned it, and it actually kind of got me looking into it. And I'm like, you know what? As a first race, this just community and environment of HYROX, you know, it's not just another, oh, this is CrossFit type of thing. Yeah. You know, but looking at it really was like, oh, this is the athletic community that I want to be a part of and want to start, right? And that's kind of something I think we all look for. You know, brings me back to the days we were stepping into that arena for the first time, you know, about to compete, kind of brought me back to like college weightlifting room, music blasting, guys just having fun, people dancing around, just being themselves, weird, open, and free. Yeah. And so I think, you know, just wanting to do that and be back a part of that community is kind of what really got me into it. So,
dude, for sure.
I don't know. It's funny to hear you say that I got you into it when you were the one that got me. So, I mean,
hey, I guess we motivated each other, bro.
Because I've never done a race before like that. Yeah. I haven't done a marathon. Wasn't even considering trying to do a race until I think I was talking to you guys back in December. You guys mentioned the HYROX race, and I was like, I don't know if this is something for me. I mean, I've heard about it, but I'm like, I've never done something like this before. So I was still training with you guys for it, but it wasn't until like February.
Yeah,
March.
Where you turn that corner, you're like, dude, screw it, I'm doing it.
Because trying to find a ticket on every single platform.
Yeah, we're like, Spencer, just do it, bro. Come on.
When I tell you, I think I deep dive into the internet to try to find some resale tickets. Thank God I didn't, because the Facebook chats seem to be all just a little sketchy. But you guys, I think I was talking to you one day at Colossus, and you guys really just convinced me to kind of go for it. So I was like, I'm all over this. Because then you told me the group of guys that were going. I'm just like, this should be a really cool event, just being together with some like-minded individuals, going after it, getting after it again. But when I tell you, when I stepped in front of that HYROX community, or just the event in itself, the adrenaline that I felt when I just like walked in was, again, something I missed playing football. Yeah. Especially when that tunnel, because I know you said something about that too.
It was so sick.
I mean, I think we're in there for 2 minutes, but the adrenaline that is just rushing through you.
Why I burnt out.
Why you came out hot.
I came out way too fucking hot.
I'm pretty sure we had a $10 bet on that of if Zach would like have flashbacks to that Ohio State tunnel and come out way too fast, and 100%.
I was going to say, how long is this guy going to last on that first lap?
To a T. But no, to your point, bro, like I literally remember there was a moment at HYROX in Houston where Spencer and I were standing together, and we were just kind of like, looked like two kids in a candy store, like looking around like, bro, this is it, dude. Like this feels like Saturday again. Like we were competing on a Saturday morning, and it's like, bro, this is game day. Like we're running out of the tunnel. You're with your boys. Like we just got a fire meal the night before together. Like we're getting after it. So like, bro, it really was like scratching all those itches, dude. It was really hitting on all cylinders of like, this is a competition, this is camaraderie, this is an individual effort, this is also, in my opinion, kind of a collective effort, even though, in some situations, some of us did doubles, some of us did individuals. Like, it was just that camaraderie and that support that I think was so cool among us. But then we got to see that in that environment of HYROX where like everybody's cheering everybody on. And then like you start to see all these people there and it's like, dude, we didn't even realize how many people like were at these things. And it's like, dude, this is legit.
4 p.m. I was going to say the morning, it was kind of, average group, but by 4 p.m., I think
dude,
we
it
had
was
the whole
bumping.
city of Houston in that gymnasium.
There
at
had
that
to be
time.
at least 30 or 40,000 people in that
Yeah.
in that stadium. Like it was insane.
100%, dude. And that's where I think like what was so cool was like there were some elite athletes in those like pro competitions. Like we were seeing like, I remember at one point we were watching like the women's doubles go and we're like, dude, some of these women look like former Olympians. I think some of them even are like former Olympians. Well,
not
like
only
the one girl that was with Tia. Yeah. Like
not only is she Olympian, but she's in the CrossFit games.
Yeah.
And they absolutely annihilated that.
Crushed it, dude.
And I'm like, I'm just trying to get out here,
They
trying to
set
get a
new
certain
world
time.
record, I think, that day too.
Mhm.
I think we watched that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
And dude, what I think is so cool too is like it was nothing foreign to our normal everyday athlete training. As you guys know, we do mixed modality training. We have that nice blend of mobility, of strength, of hypertrophy, of conditioning. And it's like I always tell you guys, when you have that focus, what's so cool is like you can just kind of slide the scale on what are we kind of going to focus on a little bit more during this specific training block for a specific potential competition. So that's what like made for a lot of us, and even like guys like Todd and Riley, other guys in the group compete. Like I remember Todd asked me that at one point. He's like, dude, is it a lot of, like similarly to like what we already do? And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's everything we do. There's just some more specific things that we need to train for, such as the longer distance running, like some of the unique drills, like the sled work. So yes, there's these unique things that we need to kind of like focus a little bit more in on, but at the surface, like it's everything that we normally do. So I feel like for you guys, I know transitioning into like doing something like HYROX has been so important for you guys as former athletes, but I would really love, to get your guys' perspective on how your identity shifted as former athletes stepping into everyday athlete in that program.
I can take this first.
I'll take you first.
Take me first.
Yeah.
I think the biggest identity shift was just you realize you're just meant for more, almost to a sense. You kind of realize that, or I, in my sense, kind of figured out that like fitness is this like catalyst to, improving other areas of your life. So I guess my identity shifted from not knowing kind of where to go pretty much to being like, wow, full clarity, structure, and knowing exactly, I guess, what I wanted to do in life. And I thought that was the biggest thing for me right now.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. I think, finding that identity, finding your true self again is absolutely what's needed. And I think for me coming, out of college, the reason I joined the military is I wanted to find that brotherhood. I wanted to find that family. And, joining the program is kind of what I found.
Yeah.
But, I think it all comes back to it. They brought fun back into it for me. Like, I don't know, like when I was going through college, I was getting to that point of burnout of, this is just a job every day. But now it's like I wake up and I actually look forward to something, not only because of the guys that I'm with, but also, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's tailored towards me, but it's also an aspect I get to look at every day of like, okay, hold on, how can I get better? What can I do to make this, more fun for me at a sense, but also for the guys around me. And so, bringing that little aspect is perfect. So.
Dude, and that's how I know you're like such a great client of mine because like you like appreciate that, like how I make it fun and like how I tailor it to you. And bro, I think that's so underrated in this like kind of just industry where people have the mindset that like fitness needs to be boring. It has to be boring and repetitive and you should hate it or like not look forward to it. And it's like, I don't think that's how it should be. I'm like, it should be something we look forward to, that we enjoy. And I think that like in a lot of ways, when people dislike it, they've just never been, like when people dislike fitness or training, I'm a firm believer they've just never been exposed to a way that they actually do like. Yeah. And sometimes you have to get out of what you've always done to experience something new or maybe a refreshed approach that's going to give you that fun again, kind of like what you experienced in the program, bro. And that stems from, guess who that stems from? Your boy. like I wanted my training to be fun. Like when I finished playing, bro, I'm like, there's a way we can get great results and we can drive effective training, but deliver it in a way where we pick exercises that are more enjoyable for the individual. We pick variations that are going to be probably a little bit better for your body. We keep it fresh. So even though we have variation, we're still getting that progressive overload, but we're also changing things frequently enough where, you're not getting super burnt out. You're not getting bored. And dude, I just love that you brought that up, bro, because like that is so intentional. Like that all stems from like me being a former athlete at one point and me being someone who was burnt out from training to come up with this whole entire approach that I now take with you guys. You know what I mean? So it's just really sick, man. And I feel like for you guys too, like with HYROX, what were some of those emotions like kind of building up to that day? Like what were you guys feeling approaching that competition day?
I know I was mad I didn't get the first time slot of the race, but I'll let you take that one. You had the first time slot. No, the emotions leading up to it, I mean, there was a little bit of nervousness in there.
Oh, yeah.
We were sitting at breakfast and we don't know what to eat. Like, do I eat too much? Do I do this? Like, I know what I normally eat, but this time is different. Like, how do we, satisfy ourselves, but also calm those nerves to where we're not, out of it. But the second we stepped into that building, it was almost overexcitement. Yeah. It was almost trying to get ourselves to calm down so we don't tire ourselves out before we go. Mm-hmm. So there was definitely a lot of mixed emotions. But
yeah, I definitely think what helped with some of the emotions too was just like being around the guys, you, Zach, Riley, Todd. And I just thought the environment in which the group that we went down there with definitely helped a lot because we just kind of looked at it as like, okay, we're all kind of getting after it together. We're going to die together on this HYROX event.
We're going to jump in,
at the end of the day, it's going to be all right. But I just know the emotions were super high just because for me too, because it was one of my first races that I've kind of ever done before. And I know HYROX isn't some beginners type of workout type of thing. And I know it took us a while to kind of train for it. So I was ready for it, but my emotions were definitely high. But it's, again, as soon as what Gino said, you step into the environment, everything kind of changes and you kind of just bring you back to that athlete mindset, right? That adrenaline, like I said before, just flowing through you and you're kind of just zoned in, focus and just ready to get after it. So that was the biggest thing for me.
We helped each other a lot, out a lot too. I mean, just from watching you go, we were picking up pieces of, hey, maybe try to do this better. And then I know I heard you when I went. You were behind me. I know we had that one picture. I mean, I could hear you from the back,
right behind you.
Hand over hand. No, walk it back. Don't stand there. Like, I mean, we were helping each other throughout the way, which brings that teammate mindset back to it of, there's always something to learn even as you're going. Yes. And we passed it down to Todd, to Riley. They learned a lot, I think, that, from that earlier group going first.
100%.
Is also something that, you were able to bring into the group. Even from the start, we have those group chats every day, right? Yeah. Give me something that you learned this week. I've taken so many of that, from other people of like, let me implement that myself. So I think that's something that's different too.
Yeah. And dude, that's what's so cool. And like, especially for guys like us that love to like compete, get after it, push ourselves, like it keeps you coming back for more, dude. Cause like you get to learn like from that first experience, like, okay, this is kind of how it felt. I can then take that feedback, kind of like what we do in like check-ins, guys. It's like, just like we do in check-ins, like that constant evaluation of like, hey, we actually have to like make time to assess. We actually have to see, is what we're doing working well? Is there anything we need to change? What is working well? What are we sticking to? What are we maybe not sticking to? Like that feedback is so important. I think that's what was really cool about this first competition is we were able to get all that feedback in real time, like Gino's talking about, but then even after the fact, we were able to take that information, take it back into our training and say, all right, maybe I need to do like more lunges. Maybe I need to do like some more sled work. And like, that's what's cool is then you can kind of figure out individually, like what do you personally kind of need to lean into to improve? And I know that that's what I've done in my training. I love that you brought up, dude, like the fueling. That was sneaky. Like that was hard.
Really
that's a whole nother
that was hard.
Oh yeah.
Especially the time you went. Like, it's like, okay, how do I, like, I know what I normally do in this regimen, but okay, like this time is different than what I normally work out.
100%.
How do I keep my body from like basically going into shock of like, what are you putting into me right now?
What did I do? I underfueled.
You underfueled.
So dude, no, it was, and that was such a good learning point because dude, it's exactly as you said, Gino, like in my normal kind of routine, I'll, like when I do work out and I do these sessions, like I'll get like some work done first thing in the morning and then, and I'll eat like right when I wake up, but I'll get some like work done and then like I'll eat a small little snack, like pre-workout from that first meal and then get into my workout. So that's like, I'm normally like 1,000 calories in by that first workout. Like when we were in HYROX, I was competing at 8 a.m. as you guys know. So it was kind of tricky where I'm like, I normally work out around like 9, 10 most days, just because I like to get that work done in the morning and then kind of break it up with the workout. So it just threw me off. And I ended up, like you guys know, under fueling. I ended up going to a Starbucks. I got like a bagel and like some fruit. And then I had some Go gels, some BPN Go gels. And I mean, if you add it up, like it was definitely less than that 1,000. And dude, I mean, I was like, my stomach was so empty midway through that race. Like, so that's what's tricky about it is like with a hefty, like anaerobic, aerobic, long format endurance race like that, you need like a little bit more than you think you need, but you don't need like too much, but then you also don't need too little. And it's like that fine line. And I think that paints a great picture for why we're super intentional with our nutrition, you know, and how that plays into quality performance. And, you know, for you guys, like, you know, all the things that you kind of learned, especially like training wise and nutritionally within the program, how much do you feel like that helped you like for HYROX?
Oh, I think it was a night and day difference because I can't even tell you probably what I was eating beforehand. I mean, honestly, I was just probably half-assing everything before I even got to the program. But my nutrition, I mean, that is something that I truly am on top of nowadays. Is something I try to, like, how many grams of protein am I getting a day? What did my carb intake look? Am I feeling my workouts correctly? Do I have the energy to be able to sustain what I'm doing over a long period of time? And I would just say I try to take that in to the HYROX event because I know the biggest thing for me was just the hydration portion and the electrolytes. And I remember talking to you two the night before. It's like, God, what should we be doing the night before? And I remember, you know, downing electrolyte packets, you know, the night before, seeing how many I can put back, and then hearing you after your event as much. I mean, you told me you took like 6 or 7 of them, and you're still cramping. So I'm sitting here like, oh my God, dude, I'm gonna have to have like 8 of them during the race.
Was covered in electrolyte packets for me.
Covered. I had them all over the ground. I'm like,
listen, them into water bottles.
The last thing I wanted to do was cramp, and unfortunately, halfway through the race, I cramped up. But again, I think you brought it back to just knowing what to do for next time. And I think a lot of it has to do with the endurance portion for the lower legs. And I think that's something that I'm trying to work into my training right now and really trying to drive that fatigue and really trying to figure out how to run on fatigue legs. And hopefully come around next HYROX, I'll be able to actually do that a lot better and not actually cramp up. But
bro, you did really good. Like you were killing it.
I appreciate that. But
both of you really killed it.
I definitely would love to do an individual one like you guys did. I thought the doubles was sweet, just to be able to have someone out there to
100%, dude. Yeah.
Because I know you told me you were out there and you felt you're
on an
island by yourself.
For sure. You're on. You managed your shit well.
I mean, it comes like for our training when we did it on Saturdays, we would run the run through, right? Like you would always go first, so I'd always try to catch up to you. Like that was a goal. Like, hey, I have somebody to catch up to. But being out there, it was so many different people.
There's so many, dude. It's
going
happening
at the
so
different
fast.
times.
Yes.
It's like I tried to pinpoint one person in my wave, but it's like you lose track of them.
You do.
Like, and it's like am I in front of you? Am I behind you? It's like, okay, like you really have to manage if you're doing a solo the expectations of, hey, I'm alone on this island.
That's it.
I need to find the motivation for myself.
Yeah. And knowing like, bro, I think the hardest part about HYROX is understanding like when to push and when to pull back. It is such a fine line. And you guys know this. I literally think about almost like a car engine where you're like revving it up and those RPMs are like, you know what I mean? Like redlining. Like that's literally how I think about HYROX, where like when you're doing that anaerobic high heart rate conditioning, like you're gonna start to redline, but you have to know and you have to have the discipline to say, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity to let that come down a little bit so that I can then push further. And that's where I think like you did a really good job, Gino, where like on your sled pushes, you were going halfway. You could have gone the full length, 100%, but you were going halfway. Nice break. And then pick back up and push. And like, what did Zach do? I went the whole way.
I remember looking at Gino.
For anybody listening, like, do everything like that I said I was not going to do, just so everybody knows, I literally did. And luckily, you guys could learn from me. But I will say, I'm glad that in a lot of ways, I had to do it, and it mimics a lot of these life lessons that we talk about, and business lessons, fitness lessons. But like, you sometimes really do have to just like go there and like fail, learn the lesson, and then progress forward. And so honestly, like all things considered, I was pretty like thrilled with all of our times. I think we all did really good, honestly, all things considered.
For the first time ever, I think we both killed it. All of us, all 3 of us, Todd, Riley, like everybody killed it.
Yeah.
Nobody gave up, nobody quit. That finish line was ours, no matter what. And I think that's just something that was kind of the main goal the first time around, right?
Yes.
Was to finish, get through it, and then adapt from there. I know we all said we weren't going to get hooked, but
Here we are.
So.
We are absolutely hooked.
Yeah.
First off, thank you to everyone for tuning into the podcast and showing your support. I really wanted to show my appreciation by offering you an entire month of training for free. Yes, you heard that right. An entire month. And so if you use code podcast at checkout with the Everyday Athlete training app, you will get your whole entire first month for free. And this training program is the perfect blend of mobility, strength training, bodybuilding, conditioning, which is great for former athletes and just everyday people who want to get leaner, stronger, and more athletic. So if you're tired of traditional training programs that only really focus on one specific area of your fitness and you want a much more well-rounded approach, then this is for you. Each workout is progressed for you inside of the Everyday Athlete training app and will keep track of all of your data over time. This guarantees that you make improvements in your training and see real results while also learning new exercises and skills along the way. Every single one of my guys in this program stays engaged and looks forward to their training every single day. So if you're ready to start seeing real results, head to the show notes after today's episode to join the Everyday Athlete training app. Again, use code podcast to get your entire month for free. But no, dude, I think what's so cool too about this whole HYROX experience is when I think about like you, Spencer, thinking back to where like you started in the program, bro. Like think back to that, Spencer, where like the body was beat down, you know, joints were hurting. I mean, knees hurt, hips hurt, coming off of hip surgery, like had like 30 pounds. We helped you lose 30 pounds. Like, so you had weight to lose, your body was beat down from football. Talk a little bit about like Spencer prior to the program and then like Spencer now competing in HYROX and how different that person is.
Yeah, I would say prior to me joining the program, when I was 230 pounds, my body was just it wasn't healthy. I had injuries all over the place. I ended up getting hip surgery back in 2020 that really kind of put me out for a little bit. And then I thought I rehabbed that thing pretty well. And then all of a sudden, kind of come up a year from now, it really just started to kill again. And I was nervous that I would have to probably get surgery again on it at some point, and I just didn't know what to do. My shoulder was freezing up. I think if you named an injury, I probably had it at the time, and I was just, when it came to training, the only thing that I knew at the time was I would take my old strength program from John Carroll, and I would try to implement some of the stuff that I already knew, or I would either program hop on something I found online, like, oh, this looks cool. Let me go ahead and do it. And I mean, I think it helped, you know, kind of stay in shape, but over the long run, it was just running my body into the ground. And I just think just being able to work with you and being in the Everyday Athlete crew just really showed me what smart training looks like and something that I try to implement with the clients that I work with now. And just being able to find something that you're going to be able to do for the long term that is sustainable. And just, I think you said it perfectly, was just when to adjust the dial. When do I need to pull it in? When do I need to pull it back? And I just think having that approach to training literally allows you to never have to overtrain or get injured again. Literally. And I just revamping my whole mindset around training and just not ego lifting and not just trying to push the weight and just, you see everything on social media nowadays. And I just think the fitness kind of side of things just is messing with a lot of people, and nobody kind of knows what's the right or wrong way to do something. And I would just say the whole training aspect changed my life and just really just healed everything. And it was honestly incredible. I dropped from 230 pounds. I mean, along with the nutrition, that's a whole nother story, but went from 230 pounds all the way to 180, feeling like my absolute best. And then I get to HYROX, and never in a million years that I think I was going to be able to run a late race like that. Like, I didn't even think I'd be able to do a half marathon, a 5K, a 10K. I didn't even know if I was going to be a running person.
And you came out and did.
And I come out and do that,
bro.
right? I've never ran that much in my entire life. And now me and Gino are out here on Tuesdays. We try to do it once, twice a week, running. I mean, I'm trying to catch up to him now. I mean, I'm still
savage runner.
I'm still slow compared to him, but just to be able to like, wow, I actually enjoy running again. I mean, it is incredible. And I think that only is a testament to how my training went and just being able to learn from you and the Everyday Athlete crew. So,
dude, for sure, man. And I think like, it's just so powerful, dude, because like you have been now exposed to this and like I've been exposed to this, Gino's been exposed to it, but like quality training, bro, and smart training can literally rehab your body. And so many people, unfortunately, associate like training with like, oh, this is beating my body down. Oh, this is like beating my joints down. Or, oh, I can't do that lift because it's going to destroy my body. probably because the only time you did that lift, you destroyed your body and were doing it in an ego lifting manner. Like that's probably why you're having that pain. So like if we can change kind of like you said, the mindset and the approach that we're taking when we are in the gym, it can literally be the difference, bro, between healing your joints or destroying your joints. And I talk about this all the time. It is such a fine line. And you now see that like being a trainer, coaching people, like that is literally the difference, is how you're performing the exercise. Is literally everything. But I think we've gotten so far away from that, like as just like as a society and fitness and everything, we're like, that's not the focus. And we're just focused on all this other stuff. But it's like, dude, if you can get really focused on how you're doing it, it can be the complete difference in how you feel every day. And that's what I'm so passionate about, bro, because like so many people aren't exposed to that. Like people legitimately think that like training is going to like hurt them. Like there's people out there that think that. It's diabolical. Like, and it's unfortunate because we have so many shitty, quite literally training environments that cause that has now become the norm. So that's why I always say, I'm like, high quality training is so rare that people literally think getting injured and having pain, like when you work out, is like normal. And I would argue that's like the literal, like the biggest of red flags that you're doing something wrong.
The reason you work out is
like
so
the
you
whole
don't
point
have
of working
pain.
out is to literally not have pain, but we're so like living, like we're operating so far off the mark that like I would argue like most people think that's like part of it.
Like if you're not sore, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, if you're not in pain,
like the amount of times that I hear that from other people,
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
me, in my mind. So
it's crazy, dude.
That goes with the saying, no pain, no gain. Like, no, there's definitely gain without pain.
There's a line there.
Oh, there is definitely a line there for sure, dude. And Gino, I think like for you, bro, same kind of thing. Like I think that's what's really cool is like while you guys had different goals, kind of different backgrounds, different things you were working on, like you both came together within the same program and excelled. And I think that's something really cool. And even with you, Gino, like for you, I know we were focused more on, leaning out, putting on mass. Like that was something big we worked on, was like building in that size, all while keeping you lean and pushing that performance. So, from your perspective, like how pivotal was the everyday athlete side of it for enhancing those areas of your fitness?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, I mean, I have a unique perspective from the Everyday Athlete program because I was with you before Everyday started. Athlete. So, seeing how your training and your style has kind of tailored itself into the Everyday Athlete program, I mean, it's crazy because I'm such an analytical thinker. Mm-hmm. And coming into the program, I was a big runner, mm-hmm. and I was always afraid to get back to how big I was. So, anytime I would try and do it myself of, hey, I need to up calories and eat, I didn't know what that meant. I just thought it meant eating more. Yeah. Like, right. So, I would, and then I'd feel that and oh, nope, got to go back. Can't do it. But coming into the Everyday Athlete program, being that analytical thinker, always needing to know, hey, why am I doing this?
I love that,
what is the point of this? You really explaining and breaking it down, but in a way that it doesn't make me feel like I'm sitting in school. Yes. It's like, hey, like this is why we're doing it, but I want you to feel this way. Like I can't tell you how to feel, but maybe look for these signs. It's crazy because I can go and eat something and be like, okay, nope, can't eat that again because it made me feel this way. Or, we go out to eat. I could sit there and be like, hey, that's 6 ounces of chicken. I know I need to put that in. That's what I need. Like I can eyeball stuff now where I would have to sit there on a scale and look at it down to the ounce. I can now go out to a restaurant and enjoy myself a little bit better because you have educated me in the why, right? And I can feel my body so much differently. And I know, how calories are tracked. I know what maintenance is. I know how to go above and like back down without having to destroy myself or, go eat 2 pizzas and then go run it off. So no, I think that's what's really changed and benefited me coming into your program. And I think a lot of people might be able to say the same, but it's crazy. It really is.
Dude, I appreciate that, man. And I love that both of you are wired that way. Cause like, as you guys can tell, I love, like, that is really kind of like who I love to work with, man, is like, got like people who they've done it. They've been through all these different things. They've tried this, they've tried that. And they're just like, let's do it the right way, dude. And I want to know, like, I want to learn the right way. I don't want to just ignore reality. And I think that that's what happens a lot, bro, is like people are almost like, they are like ignoring kind of what's happening. Like they're going to the gym, they're going through the motions, they're not seeing results, but it's like they almost are like telling themselves like a different story. But like if you should be able to see that and be like, all right, something's not adding up here. Like I need to potentially do something different. And I think that that's what's so cool with you guys is like you guys have accepted that feedback the whole time, and like you've always been open to that change and open to feedback, open to adapting and getting better and making those improvements. And dude, like that's really when you make change. Like I'm a friend, and that's why I like to work with guys like you guys and people that want to understand that why, because I have seen working in this as long as I have that like the ones who know the why are the ones that have the most long-term success. Plain and simple. It's the people who don't understand the why that keep program hopping, that jump around from all these different fad diets, that constantly for years and years and years just run around in circles and never actually get where they want to get. But like when you actually get it and you actually want to like take that step of getting it and understanding it, like that's when you actually get results. So that's kind of like what I was trying to say earlier, where like people like don't want to like come to that reality, I guess, or like they're ignoring kind of that. And I think if you can see that and you can see like, I have room for improvement, I have areas that I can excel in, like it can completely, or the areas that I can improve in, like it will change the game for you. You know what I mean?
I just really appreciate, I think, Gino bringing up like the why aspect, because when it came to nutrition for me, I think that was the biggest thing, was questioning everything. And a big thing for me was, at the time that I was working with you, was this acne problem that I had on my face and this gut health. And every day I was probably questioning like, why do I still have this at 24 or 25 years old? This is killing me. Like I've had this my entire life. Why can I not fix it? I mean, I had this inflammation all over the place and I'm like, what is going wrong? I'm eating clean. I'm eating healthy. I'm eating the right amount of foods. I'm training well. I'm running. I'm water intake. Like everything was on point until I think you mentioned one day, like, let's actually get a test. Let's see what's happening on the inside. So I ended up getting a test done, and apparently it was like I had a food sensitivity to milk, dairy, or same thing, but peas and some other things. And I'm like,
peas was sneaky, dude.
That was crazy. Well, because now I'm sitting here like, well, I've been downing, the whey protein drinks every single day, and then obviously doing the vegan protein powders. They all have peas.
They all had pea protein.
That's all every vegan protein powder is. And I was just like, wow, okay, that was very eye opening. So I decided to cut those out for a little bit, seeing if that would do anything. And when I tell you, by just cutting the dairy out of my system, everything changed. Like my gut health changed. My acne completely disappeared. I mean, I was 24 years old, 23, 24 years old at the time. And just one day, just boom, done. And it's just powerful to kind of see like the foods that you do eat are the ones that like, it shows how you feel. And just showing up on your face and just physically how you feel. It's just, it's insane.
Dude, yeah. And I think I told you guys that probably at one point or another, where it was like through one of my nutrition certifications where I learned that, where like that, like everybody kind of knows like what you put in your body is really kind of influencing everything. But like learning how it literally is like directly impacting our biology is like so fascinating to me, dude. Where like literally those nutrients going in are being used, like whether good or bad nutrients, like they're going to get used for these different physiological processes in the body. So imagine like if that's good fuel versus like the wrong fuel, and like how your body's going to respond to that. And then you, Spencer, like had a more unique situation where you were able to find like truly like bio individual to you what foods you were sensitive to through that testing. And I think like, again, super eye opening for you to see, how your body from a digestion standpoint and inflammation standpoint, all those things, bro. Like, and that I think, and acne too, like, three major things.
That was the craziest part, because then if you just look back at photos of even a month apart from each other, I didn't even lose any weight, and it just looked like I lost 30 pounds just in my face. And it was just, I felt absolutely incredible after taking that out of my diet, and I would have never known that if I never got that test. So I just thought that was powerful, understanding what foods we're putting in our body and how they make us feel. I just think that's super important, and more people should kind of understand that factor to it. So.
For sure, dude. Yeah, no, I think like that why behind it, everything we do, dude, is just so important, because like that is truly where you make long-term change. Like, and I think that's really where you get to the source of change. It's like, if you don't want to know that why, that's where you just get stuck maintaining. But like when you know that why, you know where to make change, dude. So no, I love it, man. And from your guys' perspective and everything that you've been saying so far, like if you had to explain to someone what makes the Everyday Athlete program different from other, fitness programs, training programs that you guys see out there, or maybe have even tried, what would you guys kind of say in your own words?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say it's tailored for you. Like, if you're going to get what you put into it. I mean, now granted, Zach's not going to let you off the hook if you're in it. He's got to come knock on your damn door and knock it down if you're doing something wrong. But it's tailored towards you. It's all about you and understanding you. Like it all comes back, to the why, but it's information and just a way for you to figure out yourself, your life, for your well-being in the future, but also information you can pass on if you have kids, to your friends. And it's a family. It really is. It's a family culture that you are not going to find anywhere else. I mean, other trainers are going to be like, well, you have to do it this way. You have to do this split every single day. And I think that's what make the everyday athlete so unique, is that, yes, we do like 4-week sets, but it's, hey, you know what? This exercise doesn't really feel right. Okay, cool. We're going to substitute it with this one. Oh, this works for me, but it doesn't work for him. But that one works for him.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so awesome to find out, is we are all so created equally, but so different as well, that it's, that's what you really find in the Everyday Athlete program. And then you find friends, right? I don't think I would ever have met Spencer. And now we run 2 days a week.
2 days a week, baby.
Get dinner and all that stuff together. So, you really find like-minded individuals. And once you do that, you're going to find a group of friends that you'll never want to lose.
Absolutely.
Even across, again, we got friends in Tennessee and Houston and all that stuff we still talk to. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
It's sick, dude.
No, I think the biggest thing, I mean, you hit that to a T, dude. Just with the community aspect. I mean, when I was working in my corporate job, I think I came down to visit you like 3-4 times, and just being in that environment and being with guys who share a similar mindset to you really it changed my mindset, and was like, wow, like I want to be a part of this. And I think your Everyday Athlete really resembles that, especially with a lot of us former athletes out there, just being able to talk with them, hear their stories, hear how they're trying to be successful in life, and just everyone coming from a different background. I just think that was the coolest part. And just like the individualization from the programs in itself, like I told you, like my body was beat up, and just being able to still make progress and still like be the leanest and look the best that I've ever, looked before.
100%.
And not doing like the same exercises that he's doing. I mean, it's amazing. And I just think I wouldn't be standing here probably today being a coach and a trainer if I wasn't in this program, meeting you, meeting Gino, and just, again, being surrounded by these people. And something clicked with me probably a year ago. I was like, hey, something needed to change. And I'm telling you, that would never have clicked if I was not in the Everyday Athlete. So.
Hell yeah, brother. Dude, I know. And that's what's so cool, is like just going back to what we said at the very beginning, just like that growth. And I think that's what's cool, is like when you get around other guys where you're like, like this is normal in this group, but maybe it ain't so normal in this other group of friends, but this shit is normal with these dudes. And it kind of gives you that confidence of like, I have permission to lean in, and I have permission to like really follow my gut, follow my heart, and like get the most out of this situation and like thrive, dude, and be fucking happy. And like, that's really like, I think like that's the thing, man, that like at the end of the day is like you guys have found so much like happiness, joy, fulfillment, like through this process. And that's what, dude, goes back to everything I always talk about with like fitness is such a powerful catalyst, bro. Like think about your guys' individual journeys, like how it sparked a completely like, I mean, just your guys' trajectories, like Gino, everything you're doing, the weight loss you experience, like Spencer, like how you've transitioned your career, you're now transitioning your career. Like it literally is a catalyst, bro, if you're open to it. But so many people are closed off to it. So like, what would you guys tell someone who maybe is a little bit closed off right now, or maybe isn't, maybe it's a former athlete who like deep down, they're like, I know I got to get back in it, but I just like, you guys all know what that mental hurdle is like when you're trying to get back. It's like when it's a habit, it's just like brushing your teeth. But when it's out, it's one of the hardest things to get back. So what would you guys say to somebody like maybe who was even like you in the past when you were starting out in the program? What would you tell them?
I would just, you take this one first.
You want me to go first now? All right.
Yeah.
Nah, I mean, it's as simple as, I tell it to the little kids I coach in baseball right now, right? Get back to the fun. That's what it is. It's FUN. That's all it is. It's not a 9 to 5. It's not. It's the one time in your day that you can break away from everything else, all the bullshit that's hitting, and just enjoy yourself. The one thing you do that could be consistent for your life is just to have fun, right? That's all it is. It's hard work and it pushes you mentally, but that translates to the rest of life. If I can get through 2 hours of your conditioning at the end, doing 120 burpees a freaking week, then I can get through anything, but it's still fun though, right?
Yes.
And your everyday athlete, especially, I think I've the most normal I've been, the most smart ass I've been able to be with anybody else, where, you know, my corporate life or whatever that I'm trying to transition out of, I kind of have to dial that down. You don't have to do that when you're in the gym, when you're a part of a community that allows you to just be yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing, is just remembering the fun. And that's when you got to take the step, right? There's a quote I love. It's, you know, at the maximum point of fear and, you know, doubt, that's when you take the leap, because on that other side is where you're going to find what you're actually looking for. So
I love that, brother.
I was definitely going to say, I think you hit that on a tee, but just the community aspect. I mean, if you're hesitant to join, I mean, just look at, I mean, what I've been saying or Gino's been saying. I mean, the friendships that we've made this entire way. I mean, coming down from Cleveland to Columbus and just traveling down. Just again,
we had so much fun, dude. Every one of those trips,
and just being in that environment. I mean, it truly changed the way I feel or felt, and just the way I looked at life. And I would just say, if anybody's hesitant about joining, I mean, just join. I mean, just look at the community aspect we have going on here, and the way we talk to each other, and the things that we've been doing with other everyday athletes like the HYROX, and it's only going to grow. And
it's only going to keep going, dude.
It's only going to keep going. And it's a special privilege to be a part of the everyday athlete. So I
hell yeah, brother.
it. Yeah.
Dude, unbelievable, guys. Love you guys, man. Like, you guys are, like I said at the beginning of this thing, dude, like, you guys are everything that it means to be an everyday athlete. And I think what's so cool is, like, it's just real, dude. Like, it's no bullshit. Like, it's just real conversation, dude. Like, real, authentic, genuine brotherhood. Like, and that's what my vision always was, dude. So, like, to see it lived out through you guys is, like, it's just like, it makes me so fulfilled, bro. Like, seriously, so you guys know that. Like, I absolutely appreciate everything you guys have done individually. You guys are going to continue to do. I mean, that's what's so sick, dude, is, like, that's everything we talk about is evolve your edge, dude. Like, keep going. Like, do not stop. Like, keep that process going. And I know for both of you, like, you're just getting started, bro. Literally just getting started. Both of you. So, dude, it's awesome, man. I appreciate both of you guys coming on today.